Hey, what's good, everybody? It's me, your hero, Benjamin Banks, and you're watching Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. And thank you again for joining us for another brand new episode of Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Joining me, as always, are my co-hosts from the Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks podcast, Rebellious D, or like Trav likes to call him, Reverend D, and Terrific
That's
T.
what you like to call him.
Hey.
That's trash.
I just follow suit.
That's absolutely trash.
That's trash.
Hey, just drink from your mug like Kermit, dude. Sipping the tea. Sipping the tea.
Take it easy.
Joining me, like I said, Rebellious D, and then Terrific Trav, Double OT. How you guys doing today?
Ready to rock.
Tired.
Hey, you can't be.
The honey.
Your line, Banks.
I got the honey loss.
Using my line. That's my line.
I can whatever I want to use.
Oh, Jesus Christ! But
guys, hold on.
What?
Talking about JC like that in front of the Reverend. Come on, bro. Come on. I got you, D. Don't worry.
Hey, you see, every time you mention it, he's gonna drink from that coffee mug because he doesn't want to say what he really wants to say. But we are celebrating Black History Month here on the channel, and this is the final episode for Black History Month. And joining us is somebody that I've met, a very awesome person, the creator of Superstar Anime, which is a con here in Virginia, and that is Miss Jasmine Mitchell. Jasmine, how are you doing today?
Oh, I'm tired.
You tired too?
Bro, I'm an old lady.
Yo,
I'm struggling, but we're gonna make it. It's Black History Month. We're gonna make it.
This is crazy because it's like I'm usually the one that's always tired, but I'm full of energy right now. So I guess
you drained us.
D, I guess it's like Superman and Lois. You know, we got the Bizarro people here. They took my tiredness, and you know. But anyway, before we get into today's interview, everybody that's watching, make sure that you like this video, you subscribe to the channel, and you hit that bell button so that way you're always notified when we have new content here on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. And D, like you say every time,
as always, podcast in the description. Like, follow, subscribe to the channel, and do me a favor, when you see the like button, just scream out Tetsuo, and you click that like button as hard as you can. That's it.
And what's going to happen? What's going to happen?
And we're going to get a like, and you're going to support
the
channel, baby.
Hey, D, I thought you was going to say, if you see these two dogs outside, I'm upstairs going hard. Bing bong. That's what I thought you was going to say.
No.
I still don't know what he's talking about.
Hey, I'm going to let it go.
You're not from New York, Trav. That's why you don't know.
Trav, yeah, you got me there.
Ain't none of us from New York, so
yeah, what you talking about?
I ain't worried about it.
Hey, Benjamin Banks is from New York, playboy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at him with that smile.
He from something. It ain't New York though.
Smile Town.
So, Princess Jasmine, the first question that I want to ask you, because this is something that we do up here on every episode of Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks, is we ask all of our guests, what is your origin story? Tell everybody who Princess Jasmine is.
Bro, I'm so boring. So I'm a military brat. That's how I got into the area. Born in Mobile, raised in Virginia Beach. Went to Green Run High School, so I'm super local. Went to Norfolk State, super local. And I'm an absolute anime lover and a marching band nerd.
Hell yeah.
Nice, yeah.
And that's it. That's all I do.
That's all I did.
That's all I do.
Hey, I thought there was going to be some more going down the line, but no, that's all it is. But no,
you got into marching band because of Sailor Moon. You know, you had the baton going. You would.
So I played trumpet.
Oh hell
yeah! I mean, I was a flag girl in college, but nah, Sailor Moon didn't. It should have inspired that, but it didn't.
Yeah.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
So
that's all right. We're fixing it now.
How did you get into your love of marching band? Like, was it just something you were like, "Hey, I'm gonna try that. It looks sweet."
So my older brother played literally just about every instrument. So it was the next step for me. So he's 5 years older than me. I pretty much just followed in his footsteps. He played trombone. So when I got to the same middle school he went to, I was supposed to play saxophone, but he knew my brother, so they put me on trumpet. And that's where the marching band came from. So I just stuck.
Hell yeah. Nothing the matter with that.
Yeah, I always think that it's cool when you have an older sibling and it's like you kind of follow in their footsteps. But I also feel like too that you have more to prove because they're known for what they can do, and it's just like what can I do to separate them? Sorry, not separate them, but separate myself from them, and create my own legacy. Did you ever have any things that you had to go through when you were doing band?
Absolutely. So, my brother wrote music for the band and all that kind of stuff. So that stuff was expected of me. They wanted, the section leader because he did all of that. So in order to separate myself, that's where the flag came from. He didn't do that. So I put the trumpet down, picked the flag up, and I actually happened to like it more.
That's awesome.
Now let me ask you this. Did he tell you was adopted and they got you from the pound at all?
I was from the Cabbage Patch, according to him.
Okay.
Not quite the pound, but definitely came from the Cabbage Patch.
So it's a Big Brother thing then.
Yeah.
This villain trait.
Absolutely. To this day. To this day.
So Trav, would you consider what I did worse than what her brother did?
Absolutely.
Why is that?
Yeah, you're a terrible big brother.
Because you're a terrible. As D says, you're despicable.
Despicable. That's what. Hey, every time I'm on the phone with this man, he was just like, "Banks, you're just despicable."
Despicable.
It's just like,
he's despicable.
Hey, you could call me Bugs Bunny, and you could call D Daffy Duck.
Hey, you can call me whatever you want, but don't call me late for dinner. You know what I'm saying?
We can call you Reverend D?
Never.
Yes.
Oh, see, it don't work like that. You can't say that we can call you whatever.
I just let y'all. It brings joy to y'all's little world, so I just let y'all.
Our little world. You hear that? Our little world.
I'm not gonna do that.
This guy.
I'm a
Excuse us if we can't have the whole world in our background like some people.
I know.
That's
Princess
right.
Jasmine, she's up in space right now.
Oh yeah, she got that freezer going on
up there with William Shatner.
And Yondu, yeah.
Yondu,
yeah.
Mary Poppins himself. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man, I'm Mary Poppins, bitch.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to Guardians 3 coming out, man, because it's like. I wonder, or not Guardians 3. What movie was it? It was some movie I was thinking
Thor
or some. It was something that I saw where it was like he was going to be returning in it. It might be like
making stuff up.
No, it might be like flashbacks for Guardians 3.
I believe Doctor Strange, maybe.
You thinking about the Multiverse of Madness, maybe?
Yeah,
maybe.
That's what I was thinking.
It might be that because I'm expecting everybody to make cameos in that movie. It's like after what we saw on Crisis on Infinite Earths on the Flash, we saw
nobody cares about
What are you talking about? Like the Crisis on Infinite Earths? It was sweet. Hey, some of us watch Black Lightning and all the other stuff. Yeah. We don't just watch Superman and Lois.
What'd you do the whole time when you was watching Black Lightning?
We was
what do you mean?
We was
what are you talking about, Trav?
We was trashing it. That's what you was doing.
Whoa, we didn't trash it.
Oh, you was trashing it. You was trashing it. Let me
pull up
Hey, hold on. No, D, I'll say this. Trav, maybe if you would have joined us, then you would have saw.
I don't need to join you. You can ride that one on your own, boy.
Look, this guy, you know what I'm saying? See, Jasmine,
let it go.
I'm sorry that that you have.
There's so many buses y'all throwing each other under.
That's right. They're bus drivers by day.
Trav always starts it, and I always finish it. You know what I'm saying?
And I'm the traffic guard, Miss Jasmine. I waved a little thing. That's right.
That's the third guy. Hey,
so come on through.
Look, it's funny because one of my friends, she was asking what do we all bring to the podcast? And I was just like, well, me, I'm the leader. I'm the professional wrestler. Trav, he's the sound guy. And then she was just like, well, what's D? I said, D, he's just the third guy.
Yeah, that's right. I wake up at the end of the movie and fly the plane to safety. That's what I do.
See, that's your glue right there. You hold me all together.
Yes, ma'am.
He does. Hey, I try. Hey, we make sure that we tip D. We we give him praise whenever we can, and that's how we
cream soda.
So, Jasmine, I want to ask you because, of course, we're going to get the superstar anime and stuff like that, but I wanted to, dig a little deeper into like how you got into, you know, going to the convention scenes and stuff like that, because, you know, you said that you are here from Virginia, and, you know, for me growing up, I always knew what NecoCon was, but I had never gone to NecoCon until I was in my late 20s. You know what I'm saying? So what was it like going to your first con? Was your first con here in Virginia, or was it in a different state?
So it was here. Now I'm an old lady, so I didn't start even going to conventions until about 2014. My first one was Anime Mid-Atlantic, and I had no idea any of these things existed. Mm-hmm. You know, I've been watching anime since, you know, like 92, which I was 11 years old then. So yeah. So here it is, 2014, and I'm finally getting to my first con. But from there, I've literally gone to dozens of conventions by this point and started volunteering for conventions by this point. I haven't missed anything here in the immediate area since then.
Nice.
Now,
nice.
Miss Jasmine, I want to piggyback. I just want to ask, since we're here at the beginning of your journey into nerdom, what was it? What was the show or the character back then? What was it that drew you to it? Or who was the guy? Who was your favorite character back then? Like what? Mm-hmm.
So what got me into it was Sci-Fi Channel back when it was SCIFI.
Yeah,
damn right.
They had the first annual Anime Fest, and that weekend they showed Robot Carnival, Akira, and Heavy Metal in rotation for 3 days, and that's where I got it from. Yes. So that's where I got it from. But my first series came about 2 years later, which was Sailor Moon. And that was showing at 5:30 in the morning.
Yup.
And I was getting up before school, get up, watch Sailor Moon every day. And that was my super gateway drug into anime.
You know, I want to piggyback.
Go ahead, Banks.
I want to piggyback off of that. That's what we like to do up here. We like to piggyback. And I remember when Sailor Moon was first announced, like I was in elementary school at the time. And I don't know what it was about like early anime here in the US, but it was like they would show it so early in the morning that, you know, kids, it's like we're still asleep at this time. I remember they did the same thing for Pokemon when it first came out. It's like Pokemon would come on at either 8 or 9 a.m. I'm just like, we're in school at like 7 o'clock. Like, no, who's at home watching Pokemon during the week?
No one.
But yeah, no one. But Sailor Moon was one, Ronin Warriors, Dragon Ball, like all of those used to come on. I believe it was Fox. It wasn't even part of Fox Kids. It just came on early in the morning.
Early.
And you know, unless you had a VHS and you was recording that stuff, or you were old enough to, you know, be able to wake up and watch that stuff, then you weren't watching it, man. And I love that you mentioned Sailor Moon, because I feel like Sailor Moon, I was about to say
Ronin Warriors.
Yeah, Sailor Moon, Ronin Warriors,
I remember.
And Dragon Ball. Like those were a lot of people's gateway entry into anime. But then it's like, you know, on Cartoon Network, you had Speed Racer and you had G-Force, but it's just like, you know, we didn't know that stuff was anime at the time. We just thought it was cartoons on Cartoon Network. I'm sure that there's other older animes that used to come on, you know, different like maybe Sci-Fi or something, but you just thought, oh, this is just a cartoon. I don't know what anime is. And one of the things that I love about Dragon Ball Z, even though people crap on it now, and a lot of younger, you know, the younger generation, you know, they don't give it its credit that it deserves. Like if it wasn't for Dragon Ball Z, it's just like anime would not be as big as it is here in the US if it wasn't for this anime. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's absolutely true. I'll tell you what. Now, see, I was in high school, so I had a little bit more leeway. And I did have the VHS, and I do still have all of the VHS tapes. So 2 o'clock in the afternoon is when it would come back on. So I have, you know, Ronin Warriors and Sailor Moon actually on videotape. But then that's a couple of years later when I got to Norfolk State. It's 1998, and Toonami was on. So in the afternoon, then you get another several hours of anime. But of course, I was at band practice, so I had to tape it. But when I got to NSU, there was maybe 10 people in a 200 people band that knew what anime was.
Right.
It wasn't even until probably I got out of school that I had more friends that actually knew what anime was. And it was because of Dragon Ball Z, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this brings up something interesting because it's like I feel like we never get to ask this question because when we were in school, like, you know, we were in elementary, middle school at the time, and like anime, it was something new, but it wasn't as big as it is now. But you were in college at the time, and you said it was only like 10 people that probably even knew what anime was. Like, how different was it, you know, at that time period, seeing anime come out for the first time? Because I want to say, like, by the time we got in high school, anime, like, it was popular, but it was more people watching it. Yeah, it was more people watching it, but it was still, you know, like a niche thing. So, like, how was it, like, being in college and, like, trying to talk with people about anime and whatnot?
Well, it was tough because back then it was hard to get a hold of. So most of the time, the really good stuff played on like public access stations. So, you know, I'd have to wait till like midnight when all of the regular TV went off so I could watch like Barefoot Gen, which was made in like the 80s and stuff like that, or Castle Cagliostro. I don't know if anybody watches Lupin the Third.
Oh,
that's the kind of stuff that I had late at night, and that's all you could watch it on. Or you go to Suncoast and buy a $20 VHS tape that only had 4 episodes on it. Like, it was really hard to come across that stuff. And then, you know, LimeWire was giving everybody's computer diseases. So it was hard to like actually watch a lot of stuff. So once you find 2 or 3 people who actually knew what anime was, you hold on to them because that's where you get your connections from. Oh, let me borrow your VHS. You know, I still got Record of Lodoss War on VHS.
I
from
actually have
like 20-something years ago.
Yeah. I have a copy of Akira on VHS right now. That's probably one of my most valuable possessions, I would say.
Yeah.
But
I mean, at this point, it is for everybody.
Yeah, I just want to piggyback on the topic and say that I think that it's just the progression of technology, because when we were coming up, you know, it was word of mouth, and that was basically how you got everything. You know what I mean? There was no internet. You know. And I think that was what it was. And I think, too, was they didn't really know how to classify anime at the time and what we were getting, because some of it is mature. I remember one of the earliest mature ones that I probably saw was Akira. And then there was one called Bubblegum Crisis. And those were pretty, you know, obviously graphic. So it was just trying to fit it into American programming and have it not get shunned completely, I think, was something.
That happened to a lot of stuff. Because, you know, you all know what happened to Sailor Moon with, like, Neptune and Uranus. They had to be cousins. You know, so we got a lot of watered down versions of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know, that still holds nostalgia to people as well. Like, even though I don't like the watered down version, I still like the nostalgia of what I grew up in. And, you know, a lot of people are holding on to that. So when they do remakes like Crystal, you know, old people like me, we're not big fans of it. But yet it's an opportunity for younger fans to still get into it because they're getting more real versions than what we got.
Right.
Sure.
Sure. I mean, it's the same thing. To piggyback off of what you were saying about like Neptune and Uranus, I remember when I was a kid and like I had the biggest crush on Zoisite. And then when I got older and like found out, I was just like, what? Like Zoisite's really a man? It's just like, we didn't know that because it's like they wanted to keep it G. They edited it heavily and whatnot, like certain dialogue. I mean, like they did that in video games too. Like it was just like, oh, well, in Japan, like it's going to be this. I know Streets of Rage 3 was one where there was a queer character that was a boss in the game, but they removed him from the US adaptation because they didn't want kids being confused and whatnot. And I think it's cool that, you know, we've seen that transition from like when stuff used to be censored heavily, because to piggyback off of what Dee was saying about like Akira and Bubblegum Crisis, I remember like MTV used to show commercials saying like this stuff was rated X and all this other stuff. It wasn't even rated R. It was rated X. So yeah,
Aeon Flux was another one too.
Oh, Flux was good.
That's exactly what I was thinking about.
When you mentioned MTV, it was just that came on super late. I don't even remember what time it came
super
on.
late at night.
I know my eyes were
2
burning.
o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
That was 2 a.m.
Yeah,
and that was Aeon Flux was originally shorts. She didn't have her own whole television show for years.
Yep. It was almost like some sort of weird little collective show or something like that they used to play late at night. I remember that. It was really short.
Mm-hmm.
So,
the shorts had like Beavis and Butthead, Ren and Stimpy, Aeon Flux, and a couple other ones.
Daria might have been part of it.
No, it wasn't.
Was Daria part of it?
The Max was one, like the
yeah.
And then there was another show on MTV where like the guy, he had like a huge head or something like that. I can't remember what it was called, but I feel like at that point, like MTV, like they was just trying to, put their hand in animation or something, and they was just throwing stuff at the wall and hoping it would stick. And like some stuff, like Beavis and Butthead, like that worked out for them. And then later on,
it was called The Head.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah. So The Head. It was a dude with a big head. Yeah. Thanks,
bro. I do not remember this show.
Right. It was just like we're talking about. Like you be up at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. MTV,
it was word of mouth.
Yeah, word of mouth.
And
then also since we're on this, like I remember because when Dragon Ball Z was coming on Toonami, like we were just getting to the Frieza saga, whereas in Japan the series was already over. So I remember when we used to go to the library, Dragon Ball was something that like on everybody's computers, like people were trying to figure out, what sort of information that they could find out, and you would believe whatever somebody put on the internet. You know what I'm saying?
Rumors and stuff.
But I remember being a kid and seeing Gohan going Super Saiyan 2, and I was just like, I don't even know what's going on right now. Like, why is his hair blonde? And then we also had like the Japanese imported games, like when we had what game was it? Ultimate Battle 22. Like you had all these characters, and I'm just like, well, who is this guy?
Who are these people?
Yeah, who are all these people? Yeah, so
it's just another thing too. Is look at how far. Same thing with voice acting. Look at how rare it was to actually have American dub back then.
Right.
Like here and there, it was always subtitled for the most part. So
because all you could do is buy them from import stores.
Yeah.
So that you were lucky to get that much.
Unlimited imports.
One of the only back then, I think Akira was one of the earliest ones that I remember just having American voice acting, like dubbed over. I just feel like I always remember hearing it.
Yeah.
In English.
Yeah, and
I would have to go back and play it.
I was gonna say, have it. Mm-hmm. That's one. Metropolis was another one. Mm-hmm. Like we said, heavy metal. I don't know if anybody's seen Biohunter, but Biohunter was another really early movie that was very weird and dubbed, and it was these were like early starts to my anime addiction. For sure.
One mention I just want to mention one that I kind of remember vaguely seeing here and there, and that was what was it called? Robotech.
Robotech for sure, yeah.
Yeah, and it was just it was just cool.
But it was edited though. It wasn't
super edited.
It was super edited. They had this game that came out a super long time ago and it was super fun. But carry on.
I remember that. But I wanted to get back to the convention stuff. So Jasmine, like when you were going to the cons, like getting your foot in the door and stuff like that, like, were you cosplaying at these cons as well, or were you just going there and just having a good time?
So I didn't know what cosplay was. So when I first got to AMA, I was overwhelmed with, what I saw. I had no idea what cosplay was. And here I am taking pictures with furries and My Little Ponies and bronies and everybody's dressed up. So, it's 2014. So I'm 33 at the time. And all I see is these young kids wilding out, having a good time. So it's like, okay, well, I'm not old yet. Let me do it. So a couple of years later, I started cosplay, and my first one was closet cosplay of Kaneki from Tokyo Ghoul.
Nice.
And then I did a Lolita Ichigo. And there's a couple more, like I did Luna from Sailor Moon, a couple other ones, but those were the two that I mostly brought to conventions.
Now, since we're here, we're talking about cosplay. I do have a series called Who's That Cosplayer, where I interview cosplayers and whatnot. And, I'm surprised because, for somebody who loves JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, I'm surprised that there was no JoJo in there. Like, were you into the fandom at this point, or did this come later on in life?
JoJo came on way later in life, so I never saw the original JoJo. I didn't get into it till they started re-airing when they started right at Jonathan. Mm-hmm. So me seeing this new one, that's my first time seeing all of it. But it kind of took over my life. I always say that Sailor Moon is my gateway drug, but JoJo by far is my absolute favorite. Mm-hmm. The character development is bar none. But yeah, no JoJo cosplays yet.
Okay. Well, hopefully we see some in the future. We love talking about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure up here. We're huge fans. That's mainly him.
yes, you are a huge fan, Banks. I like.
Bro, that's the crazy thing. Now, when we came up, there was really only one kind of anime, like maybe two, and all of them included action. You know what I mean? Versus now,
technology, man.
Where it's like, what works for you don't work for me, and vice versa. So like, I could be into something, you're not into something, and like y'all are super into JoJo, it just don't appeal to me. And you know what I mean? And like, that's the cool thing about this wave of dubbing and anime that's going on right now. There's something for everybody, man. Bro, to get into.
The exposure, the genres really opened up. Horror, romance, comedy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we talk about that Banks, all the time.
I want to recommend one to both of you, Miss Jasmine and you, Banks. If y'all haven't ever checked it out, it's called The Devil is a Part-Timer. It's one season and it's very, very funny.
Season 2 comes.
Yeah, season 2 is coming.
But it came out years ago though. But
I know.
I think it's 12 episodes, and it's just so fun.
Blue Exorcist was like that a couple years in between.
Yeah,
now that's a comedy anime, so my thing is like, I don't like comedy anime. Mm-hmm. My thing is, I don't know if anybody's seen Another.
Oh, Another's so good.
Mm-mm.
It's so good.
Horror and gore is the best.
Yep.
Perfect Blue. That's an old school movie.
It's like
Perfect Blue.
One of the first horror ones I got into was Serial Experiment Land.
Oh yeah,
and it's just over the top crazy. Like, it is weird. It was, remember when Fully Cooley came out and we were like, "Yo, this is weird." And that's how Serial Experiment Land is. It's weird and scary. Not like scary, but like
it's a thriller.
Creepy.
Yeah, it's a thriller.
I like it. Well, Trav, I can get with that because I'm a huge horror guy. So
that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we can do it.
We can do it.
What was the Blue Gender? That was the one that was going around at the same time as Fully Cooley.
And I'm all about that Blue Seed. I don't know. Do you remember Blue Seed? Did you catch that one back in the day?
The name is familiar, but
no, it actually came on. So HBO used to have an action. You know how they would have like HBO drama, HBO whatever. They had an HBO action.
They had all these different HBO channels.
Yeah, bro. And they would have Anna Midnight every Friday night. Anna Midnight, and they had their own series exclusive to them. And Blue Seed was one of them.
Yeah, it's crazy that we're talking about this stuff because Stars was another channel.
Yep, Stars had their own too.
Like,
they still do.
Channel.
Stars still have their own stuff.
Mm-hmm.
G4 had them.
No.
It's definitely good where like anime is now, because I just remember like growing up, you really had to look for it. Like, I remember when G4 first came out, and I was just like, oh wow, like there's an actual channel that's about video games. And of course, growing up, I didn't have that channel, and by the time I did eventually get G4, it had become the Cops channel, where that's all they showed all day.
Oh, that's way after now.
I'm just like, I'm like, dang, like who wants to watch a video game channel?
I had it when it was Tech TV. Before they changed to G4.
That's right. It was
used to be Tech TV before G4.
And it became G4. Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, because
those things, man.
Yeah, because I want to say like that was the first time I had ever seen Fable, and like my boy, he was just like, "Yeah, this is a channel that's just dedicated to video games." But
that's why when G4 had this show called X Play with Adam Singler and Morgan Webb, and that show was so cool because it would pretty much run down all these video games. It was like Game Informer, but a show. Yeah. And I was like, "Oh man, I'm getting turned on all these video games now and getting these reviews and." Yeah, kids don't know. Well, we had
I
to
wish
go
we would have had
through.
I wish we would have had a show
can.
like that for like anime back in the day. Like just something where it's just like, check out this anime. I feel like the only place that you would probably even see something like that in, and to piggyback off of what Jasmine had mentioned earlier, was Suncoast. If you walked in Suncoast and they was just like, check out this anime.
Yeah, they used to have the TVs playing.
Yeah, they would have the TVs playing.
Mm-hmm.
And also those VHSs back in the day, they used to be hella expensive, $20 to $30 just to get a VHS.
It was like, man, when they came out with the DVDs, again,
it was worse.
It was like 40, 50 bucks.
Yeah.
And if you wanted a whole complete set where it was like the full 26, bro, you was dropping $99.99.
Yeah, you was dropping a lot. I remember even, I can't remember the movie, but I went to Suncoast, and at Suncoast the movie was like $30-something, but at Walmart they had it was only like $20. I'm just like, why does Suncoast rack up the prices just to get something? I mean, like,
that's all they sold.
Because they can.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's all they sold. Like, that's what they relied on. Walmart literally sells
supply and demand, man. Supply and demand. I mean, it used to be Suncoast, and then it kind of transitioned to Hot Topic was another one early on that had like a lot of memorabilia and shirts, and it is just like you can get it anywhere now.
You used to be able to go listen to the CDs in Hot Topic. They had like
you talking about back in the day.
Yeah, they had like 6 CDs for the week, and you could put on the headphones and hear some CDs and make your selections.
All right.
FYE was another one. FYE did that.
Same thing. I mean, Walmart was one too. I remember it's like you could go up, scan the CD, and then like it would show you every song that was up there,
and it play you like 30-second clips from every song.
30-second clips. Yeah, man. We had it good.
Good times.
Yeah, we had it real good.
I think it was fun. Man. I think it was just fun that we were all kind of pioneers, you know, because we came from a time where it wasn't on every shelf. It wasn't in every store.
Yeah.
Kind
of got the experience. You had
take what you can
firsthand.
You know?
Hey, you would
and
go
Blockbuster, you had like 6 tapes on the animation row in Blockbuster. It wasn't until at least mid 2000s that you had like a whole shelf finally.
That's right.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you brought up Blockbuster, because I was about to mention that when Pokemon Snap It came out, I remember like they was advertising, bring your memory card up here and you can download the pictures that you took from. I was just like, yo, like this is awesome. I mean, I don't have a Switch, so I don't know how it is up there. I'm pretty sure you can just
it's like a community online where you upload pictures and everybody can like rate your picture. It's like a Reddit where they like upvote it, and you can get, if your picture receives enough, it can be like in the hot picture of the week or whatever.
But it's not the same, man.
It's not the same. It's not the same, but they still trying to do something.
Yeah,
it's come a long way. I can vouch, because, like I said, I got that for the missus. She's enjoying it, and it's a callback because I play, the one we grew up with, and now she's enjoying it, as somebody who doesn't game a lot. And it's just the main thing is you could just interact so much more now in most games. So it's just, I don't know, man.
So I want to take the conversation back to the con stuff, and I want to ask you, Jasmine, Superstar Anime. It was created, and the first year was back in 2019, correct? Okay. Now, like, what was it that led you to wanting to start your own anime convention?
So that actually was not my doing. Mike Federale is within Incredible Convention. So, he runs Tidewater Comic Con, Hampton Comic Con, the whole family of Incredible Conventions. And he's a comic book guy. He's always been a comic book guy. He's not an anime guy. So he asked one night, and I'll never forget it because it was my birthday, December 14th, and we just sat and we went through about 1,000 possible names for the show. We wanted to get a mascot, so I was like, Kitsune-Con, because it's a fox. I just knew that was great. Nope, somebody took it. And that went on for about 2 hours, and then the name just popped up. And he was like, I know nothing about anime, and I'll need someone to run it. And he trusted me enough to run a show. And then here we are 3 years later, we got 2. Winter Wonderland Anime Extravaganza in Fredericksburg, and Superstar Anime here in Virginia Beach.
Hell yeah.
That's awesome. And like you said, it's been going on now for 2 years. Unfortunately, because of the pandemic and whatnot, we didn't get to see it this year. And last year was actually my first time going to Superstar Anime. And when I went there, like, I had such a fun time. I went there with Dustin and Denise. You guys know them. We've had them up here on the podcast before. And like, we had a really cool time. I met John Swasey. Yeah. And then later on we interviewed him, and y'all can listen or watch that interview. It is on our YouTube or our podcast. And, just being able to go to these cons, because it's like we do a lot at conventions now where it's like, we interview cosplayers, we take pictures, we post the stuff online and whatnot, because conventions is something that we've always loved. And for you to be able to run this thing and for it to be so successful, I want to ask, was it bigger when it came back last year because there wasn't anything in 2020 compared to the 2019 one?
Oh, by leaps and bounds. So Superstar was the first one that came back to Hampton Roads, period. So Tidewater, they couldn't have Tidewater Comic-Con because the convention center was being used for COVID shots at the time. And, there were no other shows because of COVID. COVID messed up a lot of shows. So that was the first one that we were able to do here in the area. And we had foot traffic of about 6,000 people, which is almost double, what we had in 2019, being a brand new show. And with the convention center, Virginia Beach Convention Center has 4 halls and we only used 1.
Right.
So it was amazing to try to pack 6,000 people into 1 hall.
Yeah, that's awesome to have that much. And I do remember that. Yeah, Superstar Anime was the first convention because me and D, we went to, what was it, Greenville? Like, that was our first convention in North Carolina. And we were talking about conventions that were going to be coming back here in the area because, of course, we knew about NecoCon. And one of our, Dustin and Denise, they had told us about Superstar Anime. And I wasn't sure if I had to wrestle that weekend or not. And luckily, I wrestled the weekend before and I was free to come to Superstar that Saturday. And like I said, man, the whole atmosphere, it was so much fun. Like, there was so much going on. Everybody was just so happy. And I feel like because of the pandemic and people not being able to go to the cons, it's like when there was one that was finally open, it gave people a reason to finally see their friends again. Because it's like going to these cons and like hearing people's stories and whatnot. Some people, they only see people at conventions. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So I know that it was a huge deal. And now we have Superstar Anime coming back this year, August 13th, August 14th. And I'm seeing the lineup of guests that you have. You have Kellen Goff, Overhaul. Like, I hate that guy, man, but he's a really good voice actor. Deku, you see, I got Deku right there. He got Ariel on his back. I cosplayed as Deku, and when I was seeing Overhaul cosplayers at the cons, I was, I wanted to attack because I didn't like what they did.
That's the kind of person you are.
That's the type of person I am. Then you also have Greg Baldwin that's coming. He voiced Aku, and then he voiced Iroh. Uncle Iroh on Avatar. And, you have an amazing lineup so far. So I want to ask you, like, what are some of the other surprises that we are going to be expecting at Superstar Anime this year? If you can tell, if you're allowed to tell us.
I can't fully let the cat out of the bag yet. But I will say it's going to be surrounding Dragon Ball. I'll leave it at that. So if there are any fans of Dragon Ball, just please be prepared because it's going to be a good one. And then we're looking to do a gaming zone. So we had a small setup. We had the Mortal Kombat tournament last year.
Missed you.
But we're going to try to do a little bit more. But we'll see. We got Mighty Morphin Power Ranger, a cosplayer, is bringing a really nice car that he had like specially designed for his cosplay and stuff. She'll be coming out. We have some more things coming up, and I don't want to spoil it because the new posts are coming up soon. But we got some good things coming up.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I'm looking forward to it. You know, I'm looking forward to, you know, being at Superstar Anime this year and working with you. So before we started the interview, me and Trav, we was talking about the first time that we had met you. And everybody that's watching and listening right now, it's a funny story, but we met at Buffalo Wild Wings. And I'm not a huge Buffalo Wild Wings fan because every time I've gone to Buffalo Wild Wings, it's just like, it's always been a bad experience. And if we go there and it was me, Jasmine, and Amber Berry, who I interviewed on Who's That Cosplayer. You can check out her interview. It is up here on the channel. And we were sitting at our table and like our server, it's like she was nowhere to be found. And then she moved us to the other side. And then we're just sitting there and like, you know, we're waiting to get something to eat and she never comes back. And so I'm just like, yo, where's our server at? And so I go and talk to another server and it's like, oh yeah, she left. It was like, she left.
Oh no.
Went right on home.
Yeah, she went right on. It's just like, she didn't tell us like, hey, like,
I thought you were going to say she quit.
Nah, her shift was just over.
Her shift was over.
She just went home.
She didn't say, hey guys, like this is gonna be y'all's new server or anything. No. So I had to go find somebody. And then they told us that our new server, she was on her lunch break right now, but she was gonna come and
terrible.
Wait on us once she clocked in.
That is not how it works.
So look, this is where
you ain't even got to the good part yet.
Yeah, I ain't got to the good part yet. And this is what I was talking about, Jasmine. I was just like, yeah, we're gonna wait to the interview starts. So, you know, y'all were sitting at the table behind us, and then we were sitting at our table. And Trav, I'll let you tell it from here.
All right, so you know, we was all getting up to go see Venom. He met up with them. We was gonna meet up with all of them, and then we was gonna go see Venom. But we was gonna get something to eat first. I get up with Banks. We sit at the table. She finally takes our order. And we get the food and I ain't got no ranch. So I'm like, can I get some ranch? And she said, yeah, it's going to be a minute, but I'll get it. And I said, cool. And like, after like 10 minutes of waiting, bro, I said, I'm going to eat whatever. And, she showed back up at the table with the ranch, like after we was done eating. And what'd you say to her, Banks?
I was like, she finally brought the ranch. And she was like,
right in front of her.
And she was like, she said, I didn't finally bring anything. And then she had an attitude with her.
She snapped on this man.
She was mad.
Got quiet, bro. It was awkward.
It was awkward. And then after that, we were trying to go see Venom. So we're waiting for our check. And it's like, and she never came back to the table.
Never came back, to take our money.
So then I had asked somebody, I was just like, hey, like, can we get our check? And then she brought the check for like all of us together.
All the tables.
Yeah, for all the tables.
That's right. I forgot that part.
And then Trav was just like, man, if you didn't already make her mad before, she really hates you now. And I was just like, Jesus, like, but I mean, I understand, it is a pandemic and whatnot. So it's like, I'm always willing to work with people that, work in the food industry and whatnot, because it's like, I understand they're short staffed and whatnot. But like I said, I can't tell you a time I've ever gone to Buffalo Wild Wings and I've had a good experience, man. It's always something that's happened. So yeah, Jasmine, that happened when we first met you. And it was just a funny story I wanted to share.
Glad I was asleep.
We're going to have to revisit that, but at a different place.
Yeah,
maybe like
that's wild. That is a wild story, and I'm
glad it was wild.
That is wild.
So the crazy part is like we was legitimately running late for the movie because she was taking so long to bring us our check.
Busy or what was...
No, not at all, dude.
It was not busy, man.
It's like we had to force them to take our money. We're like, bro, we're not even trying to skimp out on the bill. We're trying to give you money. Take money so we can leave.
Yeah,
there was a party that came in.
Oh yeah, there was that party.
There was a party.
Yeah, there was a party
before us. Yeah,
all these crazy events.
Well, I just know that I'm not allowed at that Buffalo Wild Wings anymore. They got my picture right up on the wall, and it's just like, if you see this guy, him.
Target 00.
Yeah, some number one hero. You know what I mean? Kicked out of Buffalo Wild Wings.
Hey, they got my picture up there. They throwing darts at it.
I can't wait.
And we hope that he comes back in here again.
Yeah, they got the Centers to 6 and they're waiting on you. They're waiting on you, buddy.
They're gonna pour. Remember on Nickelodeon at the Kids' Choice Awards, they would pour the slime.
They gonna ranch you?
They're gonna be like, yeah, we got your ranch right here.
Oh no!
Oh my god!
And mind you, he didn't say it he won't like finally. He legitimately was like, you know, I was snap! Surprised. We finally got the ranch. Like, she won't have it though, bro. No, she won't have it. She did not find it funny.
Yeah, she did not. She did not find it funny. And I remember I was feeling bad, and Trav was just like, "No, don't feel bad. You didn't do anything." But it's like,
you didn't do it.
I can feel the heat. I can feel the pressure. That surface pressure. Yeah. And I was like, "Oh my God, Jesus Christ!" But
JC.
no, I want to ask one more question about Superstar Anime. And Trav and D, if y'all have any other questions, then y'all.
You already know I got to.
Oh yeah, I already know. So for Superstar Anime, what has been your favorite experience about the entire thing?
You really can't narrow it down. Like, everything about it is good. You know, when I started going to cons, I didn't know anything. I didn't know anybody. You know, now I'm meeting all these people, and I have con friends now. You know, those people you only get to see at the con. I have con friends now. Like, I never thought I'd say anything like that. My apartment is stuffed with Sailor Moon stuff now, because now I know I can go buy it at con. So, you know, I probably shouldn't have been shopping on the floor. I probably should have been paying attention to the floor. But no, I have a giant Sailor Moon piggy bank that I got at the show this past year, because it's available to me now.
Yeah.
You know, all these things I didn't have when I was like, 11 years old. Like, my nephew's, 20 years old. He had all this kind of stuff growing up. I didn't. So now I get to kind of relive what I missed.
And I think it's nice. My fault, D.
You first. No. Go.
I was going to say, I think it's nice too, for the vendors and stuff to see the support from the people that are putting the event together, more importantly than anything.
Yep. I mean, I was just going to say that one thing that I loved growing up was model kits, especially Gundams. And now it's like, when I go to a con, it's like, I just make it a point to, get on the ball, because it's available now. Like you were saying, Jasmine, it's just,
you ain't got to get
it available to us now. Yeah, it's at when you make it a point to go to cons, especially our local cons in the area, that's one amazing thing you can look forward to. I love just walking the vending floor when Banks and I are finished with, our business portion of it. It's just enjoying it and being a kid.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And we're looking forward to, being at Superstar Anime and, interviewing the cosplayers that are going to be there and whatnot. And one of the things that me and D always encounter when we're interviewing cosplayers is, I've never been interviewed before, or, I have anxiety. I don't know what to say. And D, what do I always say?
Just follow the lead.
Just follow my lead.
And that's what you say. Follow my lead.
Follow my lead. And then it's so easy. And so, like I said, last year was my first time going to Superstar Anime, and I didn't have the team with me, but this time the team is going to be there, and we're going to be doing our thing, and we're going to be interviewing people left and right, and we're going to be having a good time. So I'm looking forward to that. That's what we do,
Banks. We snatch them up.
Nah, how we snatch it. Hey, we'd be
like, hold on,
for real, like
the crane machine.
Like legit, like at NecoCon, there was a table. There was like this row of tables, and like nobody was at them. And D was just like, "Yo, this would be a perfect spot to just set up and just grab people as they walk by." Like, that's all we were doing. Hey, you want to be interviewed? You want to be interviewed? You want to be interviewed? And
I see you as harassing.
Wasn't that in the that was in the vendor room, right? So as people were coming in,
it was the art. It was the art room,
art gallery,
art gallery. Yeah. Because there wasn't a lot
as they were coming in, we would just ask them, and then they just step right up, and we just,
and then
worked like a charm.
we had D-Son Isaiah there with us, and it's like they saw him, and then like the rest was history. You know?
He was Terry Bogard, so got some cool shots with people. So it was cool.
Yeah, it was cool. A fun time. So my final question for you, and then Trav or D, y'all can ask y'all's questions. Is because it is Black History Month, I want to know who is your favorite Black character, whether it be fiction or non-fiction, and pop culture.
So, like I said, I have an older brother, and he was a comic book nerd in the family. He has tons of boxes of comic books. And, you tell your little sister, don't touch it. Well, what am I going to do? I'm going to touch it anyway. And he used to leave a lot of his Marvel stuff around. So, of course, Storm became literally my favorite. You don't get to see too many actual women in the comic books, much less a Black woman. And so I stayed with it, and I didn't know very much then. I was just looking at the pictures. So when all the X-Men movies started coming out, then I got a little interested. I'm like, okay, they don't mention it much, but she's an Omega level mutant. Okay, bet. She's been my favorite ever since.
Yeah, respect. Storm is like, she's one of the best. She was one of the shining moments to me, especially speaking of the character in the X-Men movies, the first time they tried it. And I thought that Halle Berry, I thought she was a good Storm. I did too. I don't feel like they ever maximized on what they actually had as far as their casting. That's just how I feel about it. So
I feel like the only people that was really coming at Halle Berry were like, serious comic book
trolls.
You know what I'm saying? But I mean, I agree with you guys.
I didn't know anybody was coming for.
Yeah, no, there was some
trolls.
Sad.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think. I'm in middle school when it came out in 2000. So
I wouldn't have been looking.
I'm literally going fresh into 6th grade. So for me, I'm not hearing that noise.
I was excited that they got somebody like her to play her, to be honest.
Yeah, and then plus at the time, Halle Berry was huge. You know what I'm saying?
Storm's,
and I remember, just seeing that Halle Berry, because of course it's like, we interview people all the time up here, and we'll ask them like, oh, well, that anime that you were on, like, were you watching it before you voiced the character up there? And sometimes they're like, no, sometimes they're like, yeah. And it's like, it just always made me wonder. It's just like, well, is Halle Berry, is she a nerd? Did she get in the X-Men movie because it's like she was a fan of the X-Men comics or the cartoon that was in the 90s? Or was this just a role that she was just like, oh, okay, I'll do it?
It's probably a mixture of all of them.
You never know who's a comic book head or
undercover nerd, like I used to always say. And it's cool to be a nerd now. Like, you can be a nerd and not have to worry about being
after school.
Yeah, whereas like back then it's just like, nah, I know what that is. It's kind of like I remember in WWE. It was a segment between Booker T and Goldust, and I want to say either Star Wars Episode 1. It was probably Star Wars Episode 2, I think. And Goldust had a lightsaber, and Booker T was just like, I don't watch that stuff, man. That stuff's for nerds, yada yada yada, this and that. And then Booker T, he pulled out a lightsaber, and then like he just started cutting a promo like a Jedi, and I was just like, see, like that's them undercover nerds, man. They try to act like they don't watch this stuff, but on the low, they really watch it. But they got that image to preserve. Just like my tag partner Diamond Victor Griff. It's just like you would think that he don't know stuff, but then he knows stuff. He knows stuff. And like one of his things is just like, I might not know a lot, but as long as I know a little, I can have a conversation with anybody. So thank you for answering my question about who your favorite character, because Storm is a really, really good choice, and it's somebody that everybody loves. And I hope that we get to see more of her when we finally see the X-Men in the MCU. And I hope that they treat her like the Omega level mutant that she is, and I'm looking forward to that. So, Trav, did you have another question, or did you want to pass the ball to D?
No, it's not. It's not really a question. It's more of a. I don't know what it is. We're gonna find out what it is. But you'll see it online. People love cons. They're kind of like concert goers. There's people that love going to concerts. There's people that love going to cons. for people like me who's riddled with anxiety, it's scary. To deal. You're talking about 6,000 people. There's probably going to be more than 6,000 people at this next one. It's a growing thing. What do you say to those people that might be hesitant to show up to a con to ease their tensions a little bit?
So that was me. I am so shy and nervous. It's ridiculous. Mm-hmm. And I actually had my friend come with me to my first con as my safety blanket. And then she moved. And then I didn't have anyone to go with. So instead, I wanted to still be in the atmosphere, but I didn't want to be alone because I'm a chicken. So I started volunteering. So in 2016, Hampton Comic Con was their first show. And I just signed up to volunteer so I could still be there, but not be alone. It didn't put me in the way of all the thousands of people because I'm behind the registration desk. I still get to talk to people. I still get to see the cosplayers on my break. I can go walk the vending floor. You still get to be a part of it, and you don't actually have to be in the thousands of people. So when I'm not actually working a con, which is almost never, I'll just take a break, go outside, get some fresh air. You get your badge, you can come in and out because sometimes you have to take that break. I go up to DC to go to BlurCon. I have a room so that if it gets overwhelming, gets too hot, I need a break, I go to my room. And most cons are in hotels, and you can get out and take that break, but still be around your people because that's where you are. You're with your people.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
And you know what? I want to piggyback off of Trav's question because I think that really is a good question. What are going to be some of the COVID guidelines at the con? Because I know that, there have been stories of some of the recent cons that have been going on, and like people have been catching COVID at these cons. And I know in certain areas you don't have to wear a mask. You can be at the con. If you're vaccinated, you're good, but you don't know who's vaccinated. So like, what guidelines do you have in place? So, that way people that want to come to the cons, they know that they'll be safe when they come there.
So you have to follow the convention center's rules, B, local, and then C, state. You have to follow all of those guidelines. While we don't require vaccine cards like some other cons are doing, we do require a mask. So if the convention center says wear a mask, we say you wear a mask.
That's right.
All of our vendors, all of our artists, anybody who's paying for a table on that floor has to have a mask on. All of the volunteers, so the people who are going to be close to you, putting wristbands on you, checking your wristband at the door, checking your props, everybody has to have a mask on. We've bought thousands of masks, and they're at the help desk, they're at the front desk, they're at the ticket office. If you don't have a mask, we have them for you. Everybody should still feel safe. What we've done with the floor is cut down on the number of vendors and artists so that the tables can also be socially distant. So not only are the tables themselves are 8 feet long, they're 6 feet apart. So everything is socially distanced. In our panel rooms, the chairs are 6 feet apart. So we don't want to be the super spreader event.
That's right.
I love that.
That.
And I'm sure everybody that's going to either watch or listen to this, it's like they'll appreciate that too, because at the end of the day, it's like everybody just wants to be safe when they go to these things, and especially with the number of cases that, have been rising and whatnot. It's just like, you want to just be safe, even if you're vaccinated and you've taken the booster shots and everything like that, you just want to be safe. And I appreciate you saying that. So, now that we're here at the end, D, he has his final questions. He always asks all of our guests. So D, I'm passing the ball to you.
All right, I got you. Okay, so question number 1, favorite 80s or 90s movie? Or both, if you have one of each. Doesn't have to be anime specific. Just so you're clear. Go for it.
So 80s. Favorite 80s movie. So terrible. But it's Back to the Future. Like
Damn good movie. I haven't gotten that one yet either. That's a great great pick.
That's like one of my first movie memories. My mom is like super movie goer. Like she sees everything in the movie theater.
Brown.
Yes. Like we have Back to the Future 1, 2, and 3 on VHS, on DVD. Like we have it everywhere. Back to the Future is like the best 80s movie ever.
I can agree with you on that. Yeah.
Iconic movie, man.
90s.
Yep.
Terminator 2.
Yeah.
You know,
forever fave.
I actually I know that I'd seen Terminator 2 a handful of times before I ever got a chance to see the first one. And I loved the transition from 1 to 2.
Yeah.
You know, I love that scene. I think it's in the first one where he's chasing them and they're in the Mack truck trying to get away.
Yeah.
On the thing with the shotgun. Epic. Yeah, another great pick. Wonderful pick. Now, second question is going to be favorite. Well, let me see. Growing up, was there something that scared you, whether it was a movie, soundtrack, toy? What was that thing that went bump in the night when you were growing up that stuck with you?
So, this is probably before everybody's time, but Pee Wee Herman's Big Adventure. It was a lady in the truck, Large Marge, and her face just did some crazy something when she said, "Tell him Large Marge sent you." I don't know. I was like 7 when I saw that, and I will never. I'm 41 years old. I'll never watch it again. Won't do it.
Oh, I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
I guarantee you, Banks never seen this movie.
No, I have seen the movie, but it's been a long time. I've seen that one, and then which one came out first? Pee Wee's Adventure or the circus one? Because there's two.
Big Top was after.
Okay, Big Top was okay.
I just want to say that's not the first time. I can't remember who, but I had heard people that thought that certain aspects of those movies had creeped them out. It's not the first time. Of course, it's Tim Burton.
So
yeah, I mean, well, we all know Tim, but it's just interesting that it's, you know, just his shooting style, I guess, you know.
Yeah, no, that's terrifying.
Yep. So wonderful answers. I love those.
They were different too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's the best part about my wrap-up questions, man. We've gotten some really interesting answers. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
So with that being said, Jasmine, we're here at the end of the interview. Thank you so much for coming up here and celebrating Black History Month with us and being our final guest for the month. So before we let you go, let everybody in social media land know where they can find you at and where they can find Superstar Anime at.
Okay, so you can find me everywhere. PSN JoJo Kitty 1920, IG JoJo Kitty 1920. Please get on Superstar Anime on Twitter, on IG, and on Facebook. And for the Winter Wonderland Anime Extravaganza, which is in Fredericksburg, we go by the same name for Facebook. And you can find it on www.superstaranime.com/Winter Wonderland.
Awesome.
Nice.
Hey, and we're looking forward to being at Superstar Anime and also being at the Winter Wonderland. So thank you again for joining us. And with that being said, Trav, let everybody in social media land know where they can find you at.
That's right. I'm on the Instagram at ZKAudio. I'm also on the Twitter at TRAVIOSCK, where I'm also on Letterboxd, ranking and rating my daily movie watches. D, let them know where Large Marge sent you.
You can find me at rebellious_D23 Instagram.com. And Banks, if they need a superstar hero, where can they find one?
I like that. It was
easy. That was easy.
Yeah. I'd rather take that than taking Large Marge.
Hey, he set it up though. That was a great combo.
He did set it up.
Hey, your feet never touch the ground. You know what I'm saying? A little tacky. Never touch the ground, baby.
But you can find me, your hero, Benjamin Banks, at KingBenji_Banks on Twitter and Instagram. You can find me on Facebook at Benjamin Banks. I should be the first person to pop up. If not, then I need to contact Mr. Zuckerberg. Thank you guys again for joining us for Black History Month. Make sure that you check out all of our interviews that we have up here on the channel, along with reviews, reaction videos, podcasts with brand new episodes every Tuesday. And like I always say, keep that pinky up, stay positive. Happy Black History Month. We'll see you next time on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Peace.
Bye.
Thanks again, everybody, for watching another episode of Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe to the channel. Podcast, we got that too. Make sure you give us a thumbs up and hit that bell for further episodes and notifications. Thanks a lot to our patrons. And if you don't mind, join the Patreon. We'll be having new specials coming up soon.